there are a lot of projects that are released every year that get me hyped. And sometimes those projects are announced at the beginning of the year, and the project only releases toward the end of the year. Now, when it comes to projects that come out every year, some of them shock you, some of them actually get you pumped for what's next, and a lot of them leave you in mystery. And one of those specific projects that actually left me in mystery about 3 years ago was when it was announced that Bethesda would be headlining a new Indiana Jones game that Machine Games would be producing and creating. And when I heard that, it literally made me riled up, excited, because I really wanted, for a very long time, a new Indiana Jones game. So before we get to the topic at hand, I want to actually share with you a short little history about my experience with Indiana Jones games. And the very first Indiana Jones game that I ever played was Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, which came out on PS2. Now, back then, the controls were very bulky, there wasn't really much that I could, work with, and ultimately the experience was interesting for that time period. And to say that I had fun with it would be an understatement, because I absolutely loved playing that. And I remember sitting down and enjoying it with my dad and actually doing the whole experience of playing Indiana Jones. And it was awesome. It was a great experience. And after a while, by the time I already had a PSP, I had the next game that I actually had an experience with that was Indiana Jones related, and that was Staff of Kings. Now, it is regarded by many as probably the best version of Staff of Kings, even though that if you play it on the PS2, then you more than likely have a more modern experience with it. But a lot of people say that the PSP version of Staff of Kings is very true to the vision that they had built up for this game. Now, after a while, I remember getting to play a few demos of Lego Indiana Jones, but honestly, it didn't have the same impact as those two that I just mentioned. So, finally, just as I was not even expecting, this past week, it was announced and shown the new Indiana Jones game, which is called Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which the name itself doesn't really, entice you or anything. But ultimately, when you see the trailer, it gets you really excited to play this game. Now, seeing the gameplay as it is meant to be seen, actually, it looks to me that Machine Games, which, for those of you who don't know, they are the creators of Wolfenstein, the more recent Wolfenstein games. And what I see is that they are essentially taking Wolfenstein, the engine that runs Wolfenstein, and they're putting Indiana Jones in it. Now, I love the graphics. The graphics look amazing, and they are supposed to be amazing. I mean, we're already at, PS5 and Xbox Series X, which is actually a topic I'll say a little bit further down. But ultimately, the graphics look amazing. And what I was most impressed by is that we are getting something that is authentically Indiana Jones. It's not a rip-off. It doesn't feel like another game, A lot of people have been saying oh, they could have just made this game third person. But a lot of people would then draw comparisons to games like Uncharted and Tomb Raider, which have since been very popular. And it's been a while since we've had another Indiana Jones game. And since the last Indiana Jones game, which was Staff of Kings, came out, a lot of adventure games have come out, and a lot of exploration games and things of that nature have come out. So it's ultimately a thing of, should a person be interested in playing a game that's first person and actually feels like you have the dexterity to feel like Indiana Jones, then this is the game for you. But if you think that, point of view is a big deal, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say to you. I think that it's going to be an amazing game and an opportunity for people to actually feel like the archaeologist that is Indiana Jones. Now, it is said that this game takes place in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Temple of Doom is actually a prequel to the original movie. So it has to be in between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, and that's where the story takes place. Now, I want to see if they're going to create any sort of references throughout the game that's going to give us those clues as to what that time period is like. And if that's the case, I'm really interested in seeing those connecting points. Now, something that has stood out to me is that we are not getting a Harrison Ford voiceover for this game. As a matter of fact, who is voicing Harrison Ford in this game is Troy Baker. Now, Troy Baker is known for a lot of different characters in gaming. I mean, Joel is probably the first one that comes to mind when we talk about The Last of Us. He's the one who voices Joel, and he's also voiced Sam, which is Nathan Drake's brother, in Uncharted 4 and The Lost Legacy. Now, those are just examples of Troy Baker's work, but he has done voiceovers for other projects as well, incredible projects, and I know for a fact he is going to take this incredible game to new heights with his performance capture and what he can bring to the role of Indiana Jones. Now, there are two final things that I have to touch on. First off, the date when it releases and the fact that it's going to be releasing this fall. Now, based on, gameplay footage and how it looks like to me that they're more than ready to, release this game and not have to worry about anything else. But other than that, there is the fact that this is going to be a console exclusive. Now, it is going to release on PC. I'm not saying that it's only going to be on consoles. It is going to have a PC port. The thing is that it's not going to be a PS5 and Xbox. It's just going to be an Xbox exclusive title, which kind of irks me because I don't own a PS5, nor do I own an Xbox Series X or S. So it is kind of tough to think that if I want to have this experience, I either have to have a capable PC or I have to get an Xbox, which to me isn't a real big deal, but ultimately it does suck to not have those two options readily available. But ultimately, this is gonna be a game that I cannot wait to play. I am so excited to get back into an adventure game that has an incredible story, that gets me pumped and excited and feels authentic to the, Indiana Jones legacy. And, ultimately though, it is what I think, which begs the question, what do you guys think? What do you think of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle? And do you think this is going to be an incredible addition to the lineup of Indiana Jones? Do you think that it is a required play, ultimately, if you want to live through the adventure of Indiana Jones from the movies and then transition into the game? If you think that's part of this adventure, let me know. I want to know exactly what you guys are thinking. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to be notified when new videos go live on this channel. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.